I'm guessing I'm not the only one out there who's trying to make more simple, budget-friendly meals this year. That often ends up looking like stir fries or grain bowls, and usually a block of this air fryer tofu. I think I've been making this twice a week for the past 6 months. It's golden, it's crispy, it's almost dehydrated tofu. So I do recommend pressing the tofu. As a rule of thumb, it's just always going to be worth it to press tofu. You could use a cast iron skillet or something else heavy if you don't have a tofu press, but if you make a lot of tofu, a press is worth it. Sometimes I do skip this step, but when I take 5 minutes to press it, I am glad that I did. The tofu gets a little more chewy and a little less wet. It also just cooks a little more quickly. I know some folks prefer using the air fryer because it allows you to cut back on oil, but that's not really my goal here with this recipe. I use it because it cuts back on time. We'll mix together oil, salt, and pepper, and a little bit of nutritional yeast. Very simple ingredients, but the black pepper adds a lovely little kick. So you can cube the tofu or you can tear it. This recipe works either way. I like tearing the tofu because it adds extra texture and it makes these yummy little crumbly bits. Just try to tear it into bite-sized pieces. Then I just toss the tofu in those seasonings. As you can see, I ended up adding a little extra oil. I basically add enough so that it makes this kind of thin consistency so that the tofu coats easily with all of those seasonings. I've only made this in my toaster oven / air fryer combo, but I do it at 375 Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. I recommend starting with 15 minutes to be safe because I know there's some variation between models, especially because I know I like my food a little more crispy / nearing burnt than some folks might. Also, I don't find that it needs to be stirred or shaken halfway through. Maybe that's just my air fryer, but just keep an eye on it and make sure it's not burning. My friend called this method tofu jerky, which I think is pretty on point. 1 block of tofu typically makes about 2 servings for me, but it might be more or less for you, so just scale this up as needed. This is a bit shorter than my usual video, but I just really love this recipe and I had to share it and put it out there in the world. So if you give this a try, let me know and hit subscribe for more easy vegetarian recipes.